Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Today we are going to continue with Space Travel Part 2, Unit 10. Please bring your workbook, pupil's book, and a pencil so you could take note and write your answers. Let's start with the vocabulary words. Today we have 10 vocabulary words for these paragraphs. The first word is spacecraft, spacecraft, flight, flight, sign, sign, the G is silent, sign, train, train, Air Force, Air Force, space rocket, space rocket, orbit, orbit, union, union, newspaper, newspaper, medal, medal. Now I want you to pause this video, try to memorize these words, then start with the activity with me. Yes, let's start. Now we have three choices for this photo. We have sign, space rocket, orbit. Pause, think. Sign, space rocket, orbit. Well done. The answer is space rocket. Another one. Yes, we have flight, orbit, spacecraft. Flight, orbit, spacecraft. Which one is the answer? Pause, think. Well done, it's a spacecraft. Let's choose another one. Yes, we have Air Force, newspaper, train. Air Force, newspaper, train. Which one? Very good, train. She's training the dog to jump. Another one. We have orbit, Air Force, newspaper. Which one? Newspaper. Next one. We have orbit, sign, flight. Pause and think. Which one is the right answer? Is it sign? Is it orbit? Excellent. It's flight. A journey in the air. Let's choose touch. We have union, Air Force, spacecraft. We have a soldier here and a plane. Is it a union, Air Force, spacecraft? Yes, excellent. It's Air Force. Now, what about the next one? Yes, we have sign, spacecraft, train. It's like a poster. Please don't feed the seagulls. Which one? Yes, it's a sign. We have many signs in the streets. What's this? Is it a spacecraft, space rocket, or a medal? Something you get when you get the right answer on the first place. It's a medal. What about this? You have the planets. They are going around in a medal or in a union or in an orbit or in an orbit. Yes, we call these circles the circles. Orbit. Still have some words. Group of people. Are they metal, train, or yan? Group or yan? Yes, we got 1000. All of our answers are correct. Now I want you to follow with me. You are going to listen to the paragraphs. Listen carefully. The Vostok 6 spacecraft. At last the day of the flight arrived. On 16th June 1963, Valentina took off in the spacecraft Vostok 6. The flight lasted almost 3 days. During the flight, she spoke to people on the ground. Her call sign was Cheka. In English, this means seagull. This is the word in Russian, Yanka. In November, she married another cosmonaut. Her husband was Andriy Nikolaev. Their daughter, Elena, was born in 1964. Valentina trained as a cosmonaut engineer. Then she worked in Russian Air Force until 1997. Valentina Tereshkova became a hero of the Soviet Union. She received the United Nations Gold Medal of Peace. On her 17th birthday, she told a newspaper reporter, "I still have one dream, a flight to Mars. It's the dream of all cosmonauts." First man in space exploration, Yuri Gagarin, Russia. The first man in space, the first orbit of the Earth, 12th April 1961. Alexei Leonov, Russia. The first spacewalk, 18th March 1965. Neil Armstrong, America. The first man on the moon, 21st July 1969. Vostok 1. This space rocket took Yuri Gagarin into orbit round the Earth. Yes. After we listen to the paragraphs, we are going to start with the first paragraph. These are some words you need to know. You have spacecraft, arrived, lasted, another, husband, until. At last the day of the flight arrived. On 16th June 1963, Valentina took off in the spacecraft Vostok 6. The flight lasted almost 3 days. During the flight, she spoke to people on the ground and her call sign was Cheka. In English, this means seagull. This is the word in Russia, Yanka. In November, she married another cosmonaut. Her husband was Andriy Nikolaev. Their daughter Elena was born in 1964. Valentina trained as a cosmonaut engineer. Then she worked in Russia Air Force until 1997. I want you to read this paragraph again and try to answer these questions. The first one. What was the name of the spacecraft? She took off in a spacecraft. What was the name of this spacecraft? Pause. Look for the answer. Well done. Vostok 6. This was the name of the spacecraft that Valentina took to the space. When did the spacecraft took off? When? We are asking about time. When did the spacecraft take off? Pause. Think about the answer. Yes, you're right. 16th June 1963. What about question 3? What did she do during the flight? When she was in the space, in the flight, what did she do? Did she talk to anyone? Let's see. She spoke to people on the ground. So when she was on space, she spoke to the people on the ground. What happened in 1964? In this year, what happened with the Valentina? Think. You're right again. Elena was born, Valentina's daughter. Her daughter was born in 1964. Well done. Now let's move to the question and comprehension questions and vocabulary. You remember in the last video, we did not do question 6 because the answer was in this paragraph. How long did Valentina's flight last? How long Valentina's flight last? She was in the space for how long? Pause the video. Look for the answer. You're excellent students. Almost 3 days. So she spent 3 days almost in the space. Now let's move to the next paragraphs. Well done. Yeah, now we are going to talk about Valentina in her last days. She became a hero of the Soviet Union. You know the Soviet Union? Now we don't have Soviet Union. It was in the past. She received United Nations Gold Medal of Peace. And on her 17th, she told a newspaper reporter she still have a dream, a flight to Mars, to the planet Mars. Now, look carefully at this paragraph. We have some new words like Soviet Union, United Nations, reporter. We have rocket, exploration, Earth, Moon. And we have also 3 names of men: Yuri Gagarin, Alexei Leonov, Neil Armstrong. Now I want you to look carefully on the text, read it one more, then move with me, to answer these questions. Yes, question 1. What did she receive from the United Nations? We mentioned that she received something from the United Nations. What was it? Pause the video. Think. Very good. The Golden Medal of Peace. She got a Golden Medal of Peace. Let's move to the next question. Well done, students. Who did she tell about her dream? Did she told us? For whom? She told someone about her dream. Yes, you're really excellent. A newspaper reporter, newspaper together. Newspaper reporter. Now, let's move to question 3. Oops, I showed you the answer. Where was Yuri Gagarin from? Where was Yuri Gagarin from? Was he from America, Russia, maybe from Palestine? Where he was from? Yes, he was from Russia. He was Russian. He was from Russia. Now let's move to the comprehension questions from the pupil's book. Next page, we have question 8, 9, and 10 for these paragraphs. Question 8. Who was the first man in space? The first man in space. The first man who went to space. What's the name of this man? Pause and think. Great. It's Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin. Now, what did Alexei Leonov do first? What did he do first? He was the first one doing what? Yeah, your heroes. The first space walk. He did the first space walk. He was the first one who walked in the space. Now let's move to question 10, the last one. Who was the first man on the moon? Who was the first man on the moon? Step on the moon. Let's see. Who is it? Who is it? Yes, right. It's Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon. Well done. Good job, my students. Now, let's move to question 3, because question 2, you need to talk and answer this question by yourself. Let's move to question 3. Or before question 3, we are going to find these things. A past verb, a present verb, a noun, an adjective, a pronoun. I want you to find from these paragraphs, the whole paragraphs, part 2, the whole paragraphs, I want you to find a verb in past, present, a noun, an adjective, a pronoun. Again, we need a verb in the past tense, something happened in the past, happened and finished, something in the present, noun, a name of thing or a person, adjective, something describe the noun, and a pronoun, something we use instead of noun to resemble the noun. Let's start with the past verb. Pause, try to write the answer, then participate with me. Maybe you will have different answers. For example, the past verb was took off. The spacecraft took off. Now, the present, we have only one, is, as a main verb. What about the noun? We have Mars, the planet name. An adjective, we have gold, gold medal. You know the colors are adjectives. A pronoun, yes, she. It refers to Valentina Tereshkova. And now we are gonna move to question 3. Yes, we have lasted, program, received, education, fit, exploration. Now choose the best word to complete each sentence. Your is very important, so you must work hard at school. We have a word here related to school. Is it exploration, fit, education, received, program, lasted? Something deals with school. Yes, well done. We have education. Your education is very important. Now, 2. Is space exciting or too dangerous? Space. The best word deals with space, which is exciting or dangerous. Which one? Yes, you're right. Space exploration. When you explore that space, is it exciting or dangerous? What do you think? 3. This year, our sports includes football training and swimming lessons. We have things about sports. Sport, which ones? Yes, sports program. 4. Alfie can run 100 meters in 15 seconds. We are going to describe Alfie. Yes, he's very fit. 5. Last week, our school, a very important visitor. We have a visitor. When we have a visitor, we what? Yes, received. Last week, our school received a very important visitor. The children's performance of the ugly duckling, 1 hour. You know, it took 1 hour. 1 hour deals with the last word, lasted. Lasted 1 hour. Very good. I want you to write these answers on your pupil's book. Now, let's open our workbook so we could do the first page of Unit 10 on workbook. Question 1. Are you ready? Have you done? Yes, let's move to question 1. Match the pictures with the words. Write the letters. So we are going to write letters depend on the pictures. We have astronaut, planet, space engineer, comet, parachute, factory, skydive, orbit, commander. Let's match. I want you to pause. Try to do this activity alone, then participate with me. Have you finished? Did you pause the video? Let's continue. 1. Astronaut. Which one is the astronaut? Which one? Yes, right. I is the astronaut. What about planet? We said Mars is a planet. Which one is a planet? Yes, you're right. B is a planet. What about space engineer? Something the engineer does, sorry. Which one? Which one is an engineer? He usually got tools with his hands. Yes, C, so he's an engineer. He's fixing the spacecraft maybe. Now comet. It's a new word, I think. Comet. Look for this word, comet. Which one is a comet? Let's leave it to the end when we finish with all the words we know. Now, let's move to 5, parachute. We know parachute. Yes, we know parachute. We had it in our vocabulary. Yes, what about factory? Valentina's father worked in a factory. Or, sorry, not her father. She worked in a factory. D, yes. Yes, she worked in a factory. Now 7, skydive. Yes, where is skydive? Yes, you are right. So A is a skydive and H is a parachute. Did you notice this? Yes. Parachute, we should have a parachute in the picture. Skydive, it doesn't matter if the parachute is opened or not. It's jumping in the air. This is a skydive. Now, what about orbit? Orbit, we said the circle around something is around the planets. Now the last one, commander, last letter, the one who, yes, give the orders, commander. And which one is the last one, comet? Which one? Right, F. So F is a comet. Excellent. I need you to focus more with me. You're really great students. Let's move to question 2. Yes, match the words with definitions. Write the words. You may check in your dictionary. Yes, you can check these words in your dictionary. We have battle, take off, word time, become, hard, delighted, train. Which hard is an adverb, train is a verb. So this is number 1. When someone is very pleased, when you get a high mark, you will be pleased. So which one? Pause and think. Yes, delighted. 2. To begin to be something. To begin to be something. Which one? Yes, become. We had this word in a unit before. Leave the ground in flight. Which one? When you leave the ground and you had a flight. Yes, took off. Spacecraft took off from the ground with a lot of effort. You need effort to do sports. Yes, practice hard. To learn and practice. When you learn something and you practice doing it. Yes, you train. What about a fight between soldiers? When you have soldiers fighting in a war, what do we call this? Yes, it's a battle. 7. The time when two countries are fighting. They are fighting. Time, yes, it's wartime. Well done. So now we finished with the text and we have many questions about it, and you already have a worksheet on the website. And as a homework, I want you all to send the answer of this question for me in a message on the website. What's the difference between the space rocket and the spacecraft? Could you look for it? I need to know the answer between the difference between the space rocket and the spacecraft. I know that you are clever students and you are going to send me the answer in a message on the website. Please read the lesson again, practice on reading more and more, and prepare for the next lesson. It will be about speaking. Yes, we are going to start with speaking next lesson, and read the text again and again. And this is the end of our video. Wish you all good luck and Assalamu alaikum.